Hey everybody, okay look, I've got an entire video dedicated to telling you which one of the Razer 14 laptops, the 3080 versus the 3070, do I think is more worth it? You know what, I'm just gonna spoil it and tell you right now. You can watch the whole video to find out why the 3070 is more worth it. I said it, the 3070 is more worth it than the 3080. Watch this video to find out why. On the surface, these two 14-inch Razer Blade laptops look identical, and that's because other than the graphics cards they otherwise have the same CPU, RAM size, screen resolution, etc. Comparing both an RTX 3080 and RTX 3070. Aside from a different size GPU solely based on CUDA cores, these laptops have a $600 price difference. How worth it is that? For every comparison I'll be conducting, the 3080 version will be on the left with the 3070 on the right. For starters, both laptops are set in Synapse to Boost for the CPU and high settings for the GPU, as well as 165Hz at 1440p. They will be in this setting for the entire comparison. Moving into benchmarks, try to notice a visual difference between the two monitors as a TimeSpy 3D Mark test is ran. Again, the 3080 is on the left and the 3070 is on the right. The results show about a 10% difference in graphics from the 3080 compared to the 3070. The 3080 version also came in slightly hotter in both the GPU and CPU. But visually, both of them actually look pretty good. In a previous video I did on the 3080 version, I did have much lower scores in TimeSpy. It turns out it was related to a setting for my CPU, which I didn't think would affect it. Moving into Firestrike. Again, try to notice a visual difference between the two. The brightness levels on these monitors are actually really nice. These tests in 3D Mark show that pretty well. Yet again, the graphics came in about exactly 10% higher on the 3080 version compared to the 3070 version. And again, we have a not much higher, but a slightly higher heat difference on the GPU and CPU for the 3080 version compared to 3070. I'll get to the external temperatures in just a minute. Now let's take a look at Shadow of the Tomb Raider. This game is used for benchmark comparisons because it has a built-in benchmark test. As you can see here on the highest settings for the 3080, it did come in yet again at about 10% higher. And this is max settings. You can see the min, max, and averages. Now moving into lowest settings, both laptops have extremely high FPS. But yet again, about a 10% bump on the 3080 compared to the 3070. I know filming these from a camera is definitely different than getting a screen capture, but as with the last few, see if you can notice any differences. Here's how the two compared on highest settings versus lowest settings with a min, max, and average. I honestly expected the 3080 to come in a little bit higher than this, or maybe I expected the 3070 to be a little bit lower. Now comparing actual gameplay, take a look at Apex on the left and Apex on the right. The visuals in both games look flawless, even running at max settings as fast as you can. I know this is hard to see, but the FPS, it looks great on both of them. Sticking right around 100 FPS, maybe dropping to 80, but otherwise going between 80 and 120. So pretty good. I'll let you watch these two comparisons for just a minute. If you'd like to jump ahead, you can do so just below this. Now looking at the laptop's external temperatures, both of them stayed very similar to each other. This is during benchmarking, and aimed directly at a location of the keyboard that your hand might rest on. This is aimed at the top of the keyboard, kind of towards the screen. It definitely comes in hotter here. And when gaming, though I don't have screenshots of both computers, they both come in very hot. I have videos with overviews of each of these laptops for more comparison, but ultimately I still think the 3070 version is just more worth it. And that's not trying to say the 3080 version is bad. I just honestly think with both laptops nearly being identical, even both GPUs having 8GB of VRAM, the $600 price jump just isn't justified. I also think the RTX 3070 just seemed to port over better to laptops from the desktop counterpart, while the 3080 received a significant nerf. If the 3080 version came with 32 gigs of RAM, since it's not upgradable, I'd consider it more of an understandable price difference. I will also say that if you have enough money for the 3080 and it really doesn't bother you spending that extra money, you will get a great laptop out of that one. I just think there's more bang for your buck on the 3070. That's all I have. Thank you so much for watching. After this, I will be showing you all of the numbers that led to these benchmarks, kind of the show your work stuff. And if you do like this video, please subscribe. It helps me make more of these videos in the future. Take care, everybody.